The NNR Rarity event has been a phenomenal experience. Now, this has been one of the most unique formats that I've ever experienced while playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's just like, there's so many pros to it. I've loved not having to worry about Max C or Ash Blossom, not having to make my plays underneath like all of that pressure and all of that anxiety. But at the same time, on the flip side, you know, sometimes the games do take longer because of, you know, the weaker format overall. That being said, in any format that you play in, there's always going to be those cards that stand out above the rest that are just better, right? So in playing around and having fun, these are some generic staple cards that I found that I think can just be thrown into a lot of different decks as just tech or just anything. I'm going to go through them one by one and you just watch the video. Before we get into the cards in particular, though, a word from our sponsor. Why, hello there, sir and or madam. I didn't see you there. I'm Saul. I'm wearing a suit and a tie and a shirt, but not pants. Never pants. This video is sponsored by Opera GX. Their GX control feature is phenomenal. Now, if you watch my channel, you probably know that despite this nice suit, I deal with quite a bit of lag. I use tons of tabs all the time, and I hate to close them because I'm a hoarder. And this lets me do that while also limiting the strain that it has on my PC and keeping my game performance up, which is phenomenal. The network limiter feature allows you to limit how much of your network's bandwidth Opera GX is even allowed to eat up. Now, if you're like me, you cast your friends, work, and children aside when it's time to game. I don't have children. I almost stole a child for this bit. Everything you need to speak to the people you don't want to speak to is right here. You can log on to WhatsApp, Facebook, Discord, and send messages while you browse. You can also use the GX Player feature to log into your Spotify, your Apple Music, your YouTube Music. That way all of your streaming platforms that you love and care for can be together in one place, like a family. Opera GX is also on mobile now, so you can connect your GX mobile to your desktop version of the app. Honestly, I'm gonna put this to the side, take this off real quick, still not wearing pants. I'm gonna, on a one-to-one basis, it's just you and me here. I really liked Opera GX, so please do check them out. The link will be in the description or the comments, one or the other or both. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the video. See, now that's a fun, I know you liked that suit. I know you thought I niced it up. All right. So, these are the cards that we're looking at today. Right? Now, some of these you might have seen in other places. Like, I'm not saying these are revolutionary. I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but these are some staples that you might not have considered before. Let's get the most obvious ones out of the way. MST, it's an rarity card. It's one of the most common forms of background removal that you're going to be seeing in this event. I just, to fulfill all righteousness, thought that I should include it here in case anyone hasn't considered using it. You should. There's also Forbidden Chalice, which I would put in that same vein. It's very common. It's a quick play spell that can negate your opponent's card effects. You target a monster, negate the effects of that monster for the rest of the turn, while giving that monster 400 attack, which is very versatile. There's the attack boost aspect of it, and then there's the negate aspect of it, which is really, really cool. Also, Torrential Tribute. When a monster summon onto the field, nuke the field, non-targeted removal, and in an event like this, you don't need non-targeted removal that often, but it's nice to have in your back pocket. And then the most popular Paleozoic card, Paleozoic Dinomischus, where you flip this card up and you can discard a card to the graveyard, banish a face-up card on the field. Those are, in my opinion, the most common staples that you will find on this list. Now, moving forward, we're gonna get a little bit more niche. Now, I love this card, the Battle Fader. When an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can special summon this card from your hand and end the battle phase. I love cards that can manipulate your opponent's game state. It's not like you didn't affect their cards on the field. You affected their literal game state. You force them into a different phase of the game, which is really, really cool. This buys you a turn. It gets you a body on the field. And if you're running a deck that doesn't maintain board presence all that well, this is a good form of backup, right? Even if you do, like if your board gets broken, this can help keep you safe. So, you might want to consider throwing this in there to buy you some time in certain situations, or to just strengthen a deck that you feel could use it. Carrying on from the idea of niche use cards, we've got Card D. Now, I really, really love this card. I found this card when I was playing Paleozoics. I actually updated my Paleozoic list from the previous video that I put out. And this is a great card if you do not need your normal summon in a given deck, especially if you're playing a deck that wants to go first, like a trap deck. Now, what this card says is, cannot be special summon, doesn't really matter. During your main phase 1 specifically, if this card was normal summon this turn, tribute this card, draw 2 cards, and then it becomes the end phase. You automatically end your turn off of that draw 2. So you don't get to do anything with the cards that you drew until the next turn, which is why this goes best in going first decks that don't require their normal summon. So if you've got a deck like that you're considering using, then this is a great shout for just going first and helping you to set up a board while maintaining that card advantage. Now, this is one that I haven't heard anyone talk about, and there's a reason for that, because it's not the most consistent thing in the world. This is more fun than powerful, but when it goes off, it's very, very useful, and that is the stick and chair combo. Now, I call it the stick and chair combo because of dueling, so that's what we called it in Duel. I don't know if it's called that in the TCG as well, but it's the Star Seraph package, if you will. You use the Star Seraph Scepter's effect, where when it's normal summon, you can add a card from your deck to your hand, a Star Seraph card specifically. Now, what Star Seraph Sovereignty says is, if a Star Seraph card is normal or special summon onto your field, you summon this card from your hand, and then you get to draw one card. So, in a situation where you've opened Star Seraph Scepter, and you've opened a Sovereignty, you normal summon Scepter, search out a copy of Sovereignty, then the copy of Sovereignty already in your hand will summon itself onto the field and you draw one. Then the copy of Sovereignty that you added to your hand with the effect of the Scepter will also activate its effect, summon itself to the field, you draw another card, and then you get to, you have to make an Xyz monster with them that requires 3 materials, which is why this is also in here, number 57. It's a good card. It's just a solid rank 4 card that requires 3 monsters. When this card is special summoned, target one monster your opponent controls, this card gains attack equal to that monster's current attack, right? The stick and chair combo also gives you other effects, like when you summon that Xyz monster, you get to pop a card on the field, so on and so forth. It's just fun. It gets you some card advantage, and if you feel like you can fit it into a deck, again, maybe something that doesn't need its normal summon, that could be a fun way to get you some extra cards, because one thing that's lacking in this event to a degree is draw power, so that could be a fun way to circumvent that. I want to just run by these. Fiendish Chain and Fogblade, they do effectively the same thing. They negate the effects of a monster on the field, and that monster can't attack. You really just pick your poison with this. They're just negates that can help you to stop big monsters. Both of them target. It's not the wildest thing in the world, and I personally prefer Chalice over both those cards because I can use it on my turn or my opponent's turn because it's a spell, but it really just depends on how you'd like to play. Any of the 3, go for it. Now I'd like to talk about some of the more interesting picks, like Oasis of Dragon Souls. I can't believe more people haven't talked about this. This card is so fun. You activate this card by targeting one monster in your graveyard, and you special summon it in defense position. It doesn't say level 4 or lower. It just summons a monster from your graveyard in defense position, which is so great for recovery, which I feel like a lot of decks in this festival might be lacking, right? Like if your board gets broken, if you get torrential tributed, like what do you do? Because boards appear to get broken quite often, because torrential is everywhere, right? So how do I bounce back? Like I said, we're not drawing cards like crazy, and unless you've got like a proper archetype that you're running, you might struggle when it comes to building back from a loss. Well, this can help with that, right? We've talked about draw power cards. This is a recovery card, and it's a really just fun one. It's versatile. It changes your monster to a worm type, so if you're playing a deck that requires you to be a specific type to use your effects, it's not the craziest thing in the world for you. You probably shouldn't use this, but for everyone else, for the rest of us, have fun. Another crazy card, in my opinion, potentially the best one on this list. They say save the best for last, but watch the rest of the video anyway. Nobleman of Extermination. Now, this is, you could just use MST. MST is versatile, it's a quick play, but why I love this card, why this card is so fun is because you target one face down spell trap on the field and you destroy that target. If you do destroy that target, you banish it. Then if it was a trap, each player reveals their main deck. So when it says reveals their main deck, what that means is you get to look through all of the cards and you reveal the main deck. You just get to see what your opponent is playing. You just get to see what your opponent is playing and plan your plays accordingly. Then banish all cards from within your opponent's main deck that has the same name as the trap card that you just destroyed, which is really cool, right? Your opponent gets to see your main deck as well, but it's your turn, so like you will probably have a better time in terms of using that knowledge to your benefit. I just find this card really cool. I find it really cool. It can help you get rid of problem trap cards that you're gonna see, like if your opponent is playing torrential and you're not, you just take it out of the game. It's gone. There's no way that it can be played in the game anymore because all 3 copies have been removed from their deck. This helps to deal with the Paleos because the Paleozoics are being used a lot. They're all low rarity, and they come back from the graveyard when another trap card is activated. Well, this banishes them on destruction. So that's just a solid shout. Back to draw power. I put Cup of Ace in here, and listen. Just hear me out. If you don't miss, this card is amazing. So just don't miss. Cock-a-doodle-doo, if you're playing a deck that synchro summons at all, this is a Wing Beast Tuner, and it's got an interesting enough effect. I thought it was worth an add because it's a free special summon onto the field. If there are no monsters on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand as a level 3 monster. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no card, special summon this card from your hand as a level 4. And if this face-up card would leave the field, banish it instead. And if you normal summon it regularly, it's a level 5, which is, you know, it's just, I just wanted to put the chicken on the list. Lost Wind might be the best trap card in this event, the best NNR trap card that you can use. What this card says is you target one face-up special summon monster on the field and you negate its effect, so it's an effect negate. Also, its original attack is cut in half permanently. Right? Like it's just a permanent negate, a permanent attack reduction, which is already insane. Then, if a monster is special summoned onto your opponent's side of the field while this is in your graveyard, set it back on your field. It gets banished after that, but like a double negate off of one card, that's come on now, put this in your deck. And then yeah, there's just some generic extra deck stuff. Stardust Charge Warrior is available in the event. I ran into people who didn't know that it was legal. It's an R rarity card, so you know, if it's a rank 6, if you're synchro summoning and you can make this, then feel free, you get to draw one off of that. And then obviously number 97, I wasn't going to put this on the list because like obviously this is everywhere. Number 97 into Heart Earth Dragon, right? That combo play, because there aren't that many, well, not everyone has the removal options to get rid of this, and then you can wipe your opponent's field during their end phase, or just make them take damage that you would take, so you swing into them with this first and then swing with your actual monster to take out their monsters. And Dragoobion is just a great card overall. If you're making level 8s, if you can make rank 8s, then make this card. So yeah, that's just a quick rundown of some cards that I feel like it might be worth making to have a little bit more fun in the NNR Rarity event if you weren't doing so already. I feel like a lot of, because everyone can make everything, so I feel like a lot of people are looking for stuff to make. And so this can just be helpful, like just a condensed place to find a couple of fun things to try out and to fit into any deck that you decide to make during this event. I hope you are enjoying it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like the video if you did. It really helps me out. And subscribe if you'd like to see more of all of this on a frequent basis. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the festival and take care, friends.